You think men prefer a natural body or a BBL body?
BBL body.
For real?
Yes. People that say natural are cap because most of them want a natural girlfriend, this and that, but you be following the Insta models that have their whole body done.
The BBLs, like the women that's not even in y'all league.
We don't want BBLs.
I think
Hold
on. She telling us what men want.
No. She can say that. Yeah. Understand a BBL does not make you in another league. It actually brings you down now.
Some men love it though.
No, we love to play with it. I call them rentals. You're like a rental car. You go out to Miami, you rent that Lamb, you rent that Ferrari. The shit you can't drive at home. It's fun to drive out there, but no, I'm not paying for this. This shit going back to the rental office when I'm done with it. That's what we do with BBLs. But we're not taking that to the parent-teacher conference. Bitch walking in, ass big as this table. Like, come on. Like, let's stop playing for real. Y'all gotta...
I know women are gonna be very mad at this video, but it's the truth, and I'm gonna give you my opinion and just keep it 100. So I promise I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm just telling you the truth. So today we're gonna talk about natural women versus implants and women who put BBLs on and all that stuff. How do guys view that are successful? Do guys prefer more of the natural woman? Do they prefer more of the women with implants? What's more attractive? Why do they prefer whatever more than the other? I'm gonna tell you why. For one, most men are definitely more attracted to women who are natural. And the only reason obvious is because you're obviously not ruining your body and putting fake stuff in your body that's not real. That's number one, obvious. You know, so at the same time, we all need to remember that most people that want something real want a real woman. And not saying you're not gonna be a real woman because you have implants in you. We're not talking about that. We're talking about we want a woman who has real body parts, not faked her body parts or bought her body parts and put it inside her body. That's not what men like. We like more of that natural look where there's no scars and all that stuff. But some men, don't get me wrong, don't care. But the majority of men that are successful and that want something serious don't want those type of women. They don't. It's very rare. But don't get me wrong, there are men that will take you that do want implants and only like implants, but that is a lot smaller. And you got to remember at the same time, when you put stuff like that on your body, you have to remember a lot of guys look at that as that's the reason why I like you. Majority of the time when you enhance boobs and your butt and all that stuff, most guys are going to view you as that. So you're only putting more reason for guys to view you sexually instead of actually for who you are already from the first glance. So keep that in mind, women. But anyways, back to successful men and how they view it. Another reason why we don't like it is because, for one, we have a tendency to believe that a lot of women who are putting stuff on their body have a lot of insecurities, or they can't accept themselves and they're not very confident. Usually that's what happens with a lot of girls. They usually want to enhance their body because they don't feel confident in that area, or they want to get it bigger, or they think they're not pretty enough, which I think is crazy. I even seen girls who literally would make their lips bigger, and I'm like, look at their before and after pictures, and I'm like, bro, your lips were beautiful. What are you doing? Why'd you touch them? Ruin them. And now she looks like Daffy Duck. Daffy Duck, literally on Looney Tunes, and I'm about to watch Looney Tunes later because it reminded me of that, and I love that show now. So now every time I see Daffy Duck on the LA streets, I'm just like, reminds me of all of my childhood. Thank you so much. But anyways, it's just crazy how a lot of women will be beautiful before they put half these implants in them, and they ruin themselves, you know? But back to the reason, that's how men view that. And we don't like women that are insecure. We like women that are confident and not too confident. We like a woman who's genuinely confident and not cocky. We find that very attractive because we obviously want a woman who's good looking and believes in herself and has confidence in herself. That's an attractive trait. So that's another reason. But also remember at the same time, a lot of guys now, we want what's rare. We don't like what the majority is changing into, and we don't like what is commonly found. We like to have what's rare. We like to have the diamond in the rough. You know, that's how we work. We find more value in the type of woman that you can't find anywhere and doesn't relate to any that are around us. That's what we want. We want that rare breed, that rare woman, that rare sighting. And that's what's attracted to us. So usually that's upon that natural side. It's very rare to find natural women who are beautiful and don't have those things. So we tend to stay on that traditional looking woman as opposed to all this new generation stuff. But like I said, I have nothing against implants. I have nothing against women who do those things. I'm just telling you that's what most successful men and that want something serious are gonna view that as. And that's what we most likely lean towards and what we're gonna be more attracted to. But yeah, as long as you guys are happy, do what you want. But just always know that you guys have certain outcomes that are gonna happen and you're gonna attract certain things towards yourself with the decisions that you make. So, especially with women, you're gonna only attract certain type of men. So remember at the end of the day, before you start making big decisions that you probably won't be able to go back after doing. I'm out.
Your natural body shape or your surgery body shape will change the type of man that is attracted to you, at least based on his socioeconomic level. And let me show you. Socioeconomic class actually have to do with the type of man that is attracted to your body and why. Let's figure it out. You have the wealthy class, right? And they typically tend to be attracted to more slender bodies, a physique, a nicer physique, right? The reason they like that is for a couple of reasons. Number one, a lot of their reputation's on the line. Who they're married to, how that person is moving, how that significant other is, how outside people view them. Everything comes with reputation when it comes to being that wealthy, okay? So essentially, they understand the power more of who their significant other is and how they represent them. Literally. Then of course we get to the biological factors, like a woman with a nice physique and she's skinny. You can actually see the structuring of that, the natural way her body would fall in clothes, etc., right? And it also signals youth to the man. We hear it preached all day, every damn day, right? And actually this one's gonna be hard to accept because when you have a more voluptuous body, it's more overtly sexual, okay? So basically the man doesn't really get the privilege of like the classy look, or like you act this way publicly but he knows you in a different way privately. Like that line kind of gets blurred. And it's not anything that somebody who's naturally built like that has like done wrong. It's more so other men can visualize you in a more sexual way a lot easier than they can with somebody that has a petite body, all right? And that's gonna move us over to poor. When it comes to this type of man, you know how there's like being hood rich, right? Let's make it that. So essentially, because this person doesn't have much to show, they're gonna make what they do show gaudy. And so essentially, because that thing is gaudy, it's right in front of your face. You can't ignore it, you can't whatever, right? So essentially that translates to the type of woman that they are attracted to also has more of that upfront, in your face, you can't ignore it type of sexuality, all right? Because essentially as they escort you around places, socially, all that other stuff, it's a huge signal to someone else. Look who I am fucking right now. Look who I have access to right now. Display, easy to see. And the last reason that the poor man tends to be attracted to a more voluptuous, overtly sexual body. One, he's not doing much else with his free time when he's outside of work. That's the only way he's making money. That tends to be the only way he's applying himself. So basically with his free time, he's gonna wanna have sex. Bam. Okay, second reason, the woman is doing very much like domestic work in the home, right? That's a strong contribution of hers because he can't afford any type of assistance, even when it comes down to like eating out a certain amount, etc. So for her, when he sees her, outside of that, there's not much that that woman is expected to offer him as far as like uplifting him or moving him to another level. They are in survival mode, literally. I want you to understand that, okay? So because they are in survival mode, the woman basically is offering sex and domestic work to him, okay? So essentially, the more sexual she looks, the more appealing she is to him, because that's one half of basically her value. Middle class, that's kind of like a anything can go type of situation, okay? It's a mixture of enough resources, enough intelligence, and enough ignorance. Essentially for them, they're gonna be choosing a partner based off of what they see in media the most. subconsciously, and what kind of reflects their natural desire, because they don't have too much on the line as far as reputation, but they also have enough resources to care about what person they're getting and how they're reflecting them and stuff like that, but not enough to where they need to be controlling the type of person that they're dating. So at that point, you can just date ideally who you decide.
So before you get that BBL, please evaluate, what is this gonna do for me? What is my goal, okay? And I know as women, we be lying to ourselves, saying, oh my God, it doesn't matter what men think, blah, 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 blah. But eventually, if you want to be with somebody, you're gonna have to give a damn what men think.
Now, clearly, as you can see, I do not have a BBL. Or that I get my boobs done or my lips or whatever. But also, I'm not here to tell any woman how to, you know, deal with their body and if whether or not they should get their bodies done. It is totally up to you. But I do notice the difference when it comes to the different caliber of men that you date. They do not prefer a woman with a BBL, because at the end of the day, most men that I've ever talked to who talk about BBLs are usually talk about like, oh well, it's nice to look at, you know, it's nice to see at the club in a club attire, or you know, just nice to see on social media on the gram, but it's not something that they would take home to mom, right? And a lot of time people might say, okay, well, we don't care what you want or what you think you want to take to mom. Yes, that's true, but here's another thing too that I can say is BBLs do attract broke men. BBLs attract a lot of black men. Not saying all black men are broke, but majority of the men that get attracted to BBLs are usually men, black men, and majority of them usually cannot afford the women who have the BBLs, because clearly if you're able to get your body done, then you have extra money to spare. I would hope so, because if you're getting your body done and you cannot pay your bills, then there's a problem. You know, your priorities are not in the right place. But yes, like I said before, the men who are attracted to BBLs are usually men who cannot afford the BBLs, who cannot afford to take care of the person who possessed the BBL. so yeah, I mean, like maybe you've heard in the other videos, like for example, if a man of means or a man who is a staple in his society has a woman with BBLs, is going to be worried about like people talking to his wife, or you know, trying to grab her attention. And not saying that it's a bad thing, because it's good to have a good looking wife, but if the only reason doing that is because she got a fat ass, then the attention is different, you know what I mean? And plus, going to like the parent teacher conference is going to be something that is frowned upon at school for your kids. And also you know, just in the professional settings, it's just not something that was considered the ideal, especially when it is very obviously fake, you know. And there are a lot of black women who have really big booty that it looks like a BBL, but it's really not. But because we are in a world of BBLs right now, you can't tell what is real and what's fake. When it comes to like the black woman, we do have the thighs to match it, you know. So usually when we do get a BBL, when a black woman get a BBLs, a lot of time the thighs do match it. Not all the time though, because I have seen women where they look like an ant, where the thighs just don't match, right? That is the reason why they have the "and your thighs don't match," that music, that song. But yeah, but majority of black women, when they do get a BBLs, the thighs do match, and it's very proportionate to the body. But sometimes it's just overly done, and it just looks crazy. So therefore, if you're trying to be with, or you know, present yourself in society, and they tell you that when you present yourself in society, people take you how you present yourself. So for example, like appearance, right? So you cannot expect someone to judge you based on your heart when we haven't seen your heart. The first thing we saw is your BBL from the front. We can see it from the front. So yeah, people are going to judge you off of that. And if you're trying to you know, be with a man of means or be with someone who is a staple of society, and you want to be that woman behind that man, that is always going to be an issue. Most men don't tend to take a woman with BBLs home or marry them, because that is the reason why you see a lot of BBL girls. They have the BBLs, but they don't have a husband. And if they do have a husband, the relationship does not last, because it's not because of the BBL, but there's other issues that have a lot to do with it. But majority of BBL girls usually don't have a husband. And in this channel, we promote do what's best for you. We promote do what you feel is beneficial for you. But when we're talking about BBLs, I just feel like I notice a lot of natural women are in more relationships, and marital relationship, like married with children and stuff like that. Even though the men that they're with might enjoy BBLs, I'm sure they do, but they enjoy it on the gram, they enjoy it outside, they enjoy looking at it, because to them it's like a something rare, something like a what do you call that, like a blue moon kind of thing, right? Like they get to see it, oh, it looks nice, but now it's everywhere, so it's not really that special anymore because everybody has a BBL. But yeah, that's my little take on the whole BBL thing. Like I said, I'm not here to body shame anybody. You do whatever you need to do for your body. You do whatever you need to do to keep up with what you want to keep up with. But to me, BBLs are getting out of control, and in my opinion, I'm not a man, but in my opinion, I have noticed that most men do gravitate towards a natural woman versus someone who has a BBL. They will enjoy the BBL for like a night or two, but it's never like permanent. That's just what I noticed. But then again, women are always saying that, oh, I get the BBL for myself because it makes me happy. You cannot see the BBL from the back. It's for the attention of other men.
Your natural body shape or your surgery body shape will change.
People who were offended by that video, I promise you, those type of people don't understand how the world works and don't understand that some things just is. Even if it hurts your feelings, it's the truth. And as a dark-skinned black woman, I know this is the truth. This woman, look at this woman here, right? Now think about the man she would marry. It would be a lot different from the man she would marry. This is a fact. This is a fact. If she was to ever get married, imagine what her man would look like, right? It wouldn't be the same man as her. And this is what I feel like a lot of you guys don't understand. Different women attract different men, and different men attract different women. Whether that hurts your feelings or not, it just is what it is. This woman would absolutely attract a different man than this woman. That's a fact. That is a fact. All of these women will not attract the same man on average. Yes, there are outliers because nothing in this world is absolute, but on average, these women will not have the same men chasing after them. Point blank, period. Now, I literally Googled 15 billionaires' wives, right? Middle-aged white men. And this is what their partners typically looked like. Blonde or black or brown hair, thin and not overly curvaceous. Almost all, it was one who had a heavy set one. So understand, out of 15 billionaires, 14 out of 50, and she wasn't even heavy set, she just was a little bit heavier than her. So the people who are getting upset don't understand how the world works. On average, billionaires go after smaller women. It just is what it is. Me not even being small and thin myself, I know this reality. They go for modest and skinny women. That's who they choose to raise their children. And I feel like since women think that they will sleep with this girl, that this girl has a chance of being the wife, and that's not true. Just because he'll sleep, men put women in categories. Don't like it, it's just the truth. Men put women in categories. One for do, the sex, and then one is for wife. Both are getting the man, but both are getting different versions of the man. Now, clearly, billionaires have options. They can get anyone. They're above average men. They can get any man they want. They're who the red pillars want to be, right? This man, he had a sugar baby. He had a sugar baby. She was 29 years old. She's now 31, while he's 80, and he spoils her, give her whatever he wants. He had every choice to choose any woman he wants, and he chose a woman who looked similar to his wives. This is just the truth of billionaire men. All their wives tend to have the same modest look.
And it's me and your homeboy.
Let's talk about it. So, ladies, if you look at your man's profile and look at the girls he follow and the pictures he like, he's really telling you the type of women that he like. And most of the time, y'all don't be the type of woman that they like. They just settle for y'all because y'all either close to it or y'all acceptable. But y'all not top tier to them. Like, those are the girls who they really want, but they can't have, so they're considered fantasy girls. So instead of having them in real life, they just like their pictures and stalk their pages. I had one person who told me that he even went to the extreme of, like, when he was doing a do with his girl, he was visualizing one of them girls because that's who he really want. At that point, it was really weird when he said that, but yeah, a lot of dudes just be settling for y'all. Like, y'all don't really be the girl that they want. I just the girl that's available. Sorry, I couldn't get that out. Tongue twisted today. Y'all not gonna listen to me.